Hey everybody, how you folks doing today? Hey Snake, my friend, you subscribe. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for donating your subscription to the Student Scholarship Fund over at the University of Michigan Dearborn, where I'm both a student and a lecturer. It's kind of fun. So when I actually got my first payout from Twitch, I was super excited. So I've got a little page going here on my channel, or like a little list here. I don't know if I can see it here, if this is just going to screw it up. I just want to see like the channel info, because I listed it out here. Hey one, how you doing? There it is. Alright. I don't need to watch anything, it needs to be on mute. I want to see, like, I've got a listing down here for the history. Let's see if that shows up. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. Yeah, here it is. So Twitch paid me on June 11th. Oh, I gotta turn this down, I'm sorry. Or I could just pause it, I guess, right? The song was almost done. 125. So I done 50 early, because I got a couple subs, which was really fun. So I got 125 paid out, so I put another 100 in towards the scholarship fund. It's pretty excited. So thank you for your support. Alright, we're back to PHP and Java. Now we are finished with the PHP portion of the class. Again, I'll talk a little bit more about images when we get closer to the final project, maybe the night of the final project. I think we'll probably have time to talk about that then, so how we can look at storing images, uploading them, saving them in a database, and then serving them back out. We can do it with both Java and PHP. Maybe we'll do it on the 29th then, because we're going to be adding images to the database then at that point. Okay? And we'll be using that as part of our final project too. Should be a lot of fun. So we'll talk about Project 3 tonight. Hopefully that went well for you. A chance to do a little bit more than, kind of expand on this project we've been working on since Project 2. We are now done with the college registration project. Project 4, we're switching gears and moving over to Java Servlets. So we won't do the college registration. So we just did that for the two projects. Kind of built on that as we went. And Project 4 will be our Servlet project. That one won't be due until the 22nd. I just want to make sure you can focus on studying for the midterm if that's what you'd like to do. I owe you a quiz. My goodness, here. Yes, I have to post the quiz for 2454. Look, this is even in my to-do list. So I'll post another quiz for you. I think we only did not do very many. I'll be honest, it's been a really rough June for me. Yeah, chapter 3 and 4 we did. So that was databases. Let's see. Hoping July is better. Yeah, 3 and 4. So really, databases here. We'll do one quiz for the rest of PHP, essentially. Hey, Yuki. Did you send me a note about serializing? I'll have to look at that after class. All right. So I'll post a quiz for the rest of PHP, and then I'll post a Servlet quiz as well. So we'll talk about Java, Tomcat, and Servlets. And then next week we won't have a quiz for Chapter 6. Yeah, because we want to be able to take the midterm. So that'll be the goal. So the idea with the midterm is it is a timed exam so that everyone gets the same 4-hour time limit for it. With the quizzes, you could go in and out in between when the 2 times I've hosted them. Apologies for that. So it'll be a timed exam. It'll have 15 short answer quiz style questions, like the true false fill in the blank style kind of questions like you see from the quizzes. That'll make up 15 points. Here, let me be writing this down for you folks. Call this midterm review. Excuse me. So I'll open that one there. There we go. And the midterm is open book, open notes, open internet, but not open neighbor. Open book, open internet, but not open neighbor or Chegg. Remember, any use of Chegg in this course is considered academic misconduct because Chegg is the literal worst, and I hope they get sued and go out of business because they are terrible people. Okay. So it's going to open on 2 weeks from today, so that's going to be the 15th, right? Let me double check. Yeah, the 15th, at 12 a.m. on the 15th, July 15th, and you have until 11:59 p.m. to click start. Once you click start, you have 4 hours to submit. Okay, so if you're a morning person, want to take it in the morning, great. If you want to take it at our 6 to 10 p.m. slot, great. If you like being awake until 3 in the morning, you want to start it at 11 p.m., go for it. Whatever is going to work for you. All right, but once you click start, so you have 24 hours to click the start button, and then you have 4 hours to submit once you click start. Okay? That way everyone gets the same 4-hour window. All right, it will have 15 short answer quiz-style questions for 1 point each. And then it will have 3 long answer programming questions for 5 points each. Okay? Going over some of the PHP and servlet stuff we've talked about. So I might ask you to write, here's a little something you need to do with a servlet. Go get this request parameter and do something with it. Right? Or maybe make a model method to do something, or make the view that does this sort of thing. And you can do it all in NetBeans, and you just copy paste it in for me. So it'll be a single little snippet here, probably 20 lines of code or less. It's not anything large. It's not the size of a project. It's just, here's one little piece, right? But make a function that does this, or make an object, make a class for this, something like that. Does that make sense? So there'll be, I'm gonna probably skip everything with databases. No. Yeah, I'll probably skip the databases because I don't want to have you writing queries on the fly. So no database query questions. Okay. But maybe I might say, so like for example, here's an example question. Assuming there is a table. What do we want to call this table? Beverage, with fields for ID, name, and milliliters. Milliliters. Is that too many I's? Milliliters? No, that's more I's than I thought. Snake, you are wise, my friend. You are wise. Yeah, the homework is important. ID, name, milliliters, and what else do we know about beverages? Either there's a container type. Assume. Hey, those are some awesome emotes there, Snake. I like it. So we will write a PHP snippet that displays the results in a table, or displays each beverage in a beverages result in a table. So just like the things we were doing, right? This is not a large question. It shouldn't take tons of time here. And you can write it up in NetBeans. Right? Just go ahead and what is it going to look like to display the name, the ID, the milliliters, and the container type in a little table? That's like an example question. You got a question kind of like that. Does that make sense? Example questions. So for you to make that work, you'd have to write up your own object. But I don't want to have to like give you a database and give you things to query. That's just going to be too awkward. Maybe I can write up an object for you. Okay. And then another question. So how about we'll just call that 1. 2, we'll write a function that accepts an argument for let's see. Let's do argument for pizza diameter. Your function should calculate the total area of each slice of pizza, assuming you cut it into 8 slices. Turn the area of a single slice. And just to say, it might write a little function that does something. So I'll give you a diameter. You're going to calculate the total area of each slice, assuming you cut it into each slices. And actually, I guess total area of each slice, that's just area of a slice. Right? So that is the total area divided by 8, if you cut it into 8 slices. Oh, here we go. Here, diameter and number of slices. Into as many slices as requested by the argument. There, that's fun. I like that. So you're telling me the diameter and how many slices you're going to cut it into, and you're going to return the area of that slice, or of a single slice. Right? So if I tell you my pizza has a diameter of 18 inches, so 1.5 feet, that's a decent sized pizza, right? And we want to cut it into 8 slices. What's the area of that slice? Okay, and then 3, and let's try and switch over here to servlets. So this will be a PHP function. I guess it could be or Java, I guess. And we'll look at how we can use functions here in the Java land as well. And then we're going to write a servlet function that gets a number of blanks argument or get parameter. So this is the number of blanks we're going to pass as a parameter, and we're going to return that's the number of blanks there. Return a string that looks like for however many blanks requested. Like this, like an underscore, so that's an underscore, and then a space. Underscore and a space, underscore and a space. So this would be if we requested 5. Like that. So just return a string. Nothing super fancy here, but like if we wanted to write a little hangman game, we could use a function like number of blanks. Okay? This sort of thing here. Argument. Container type, PHP snippet. Okay? So just short little questions here. So the idea is within your 4-hour time limit, ideally these are going to take you half an hour or less. Right? The goal is these should not be super long, because it is rather cruel, I think, to ask people to write large amounts of code under time pressure. So it's not the goal that it should be large. Just a little something to tackle here, right? This is not much at all. It's pi times r times r, right? So take half the diameter, square it, multiply by pi, divide by the number of slices. So this is really that's almost a one-liner you could do. Let's show me you can write a function that returns a value here. This little table here, it's not too bad. You can pretty much copy paste out of one of our other ones, like what we've done before. Just change beverages and change some of your types here, right? The servlet function, right? This is just going to be a little loop here. So they should be short and sweet. So if you just plan your time for an hour for each long question, that gives you 4 minutes per short answer question, quiz style question, and you should be able to whip through the exam without too much trouble. Does that make sense? So I can bold these ones here. The formatting on this is always a little awkward, sorry. Saved. Okay, good. That's it, actually. So that's the midterm review. Does that make sense? So I'll get those quizzes posted for you tonight. So this is the PHP quiz and Servlet quiz. I'll get those in for you tonight. We fire up NetBeans. We got to talk about Project 3. And I did figure out my servlet issue. Apparently, this previous version of NetBeans, 12.3, had an issue. So I upgraded to 12.4, and my servlets work perfectly fine now. Because, of course, that's how it's going to be today. All right. And again, this Tomcat still doesn't start here, but I can manually start it. And once NetBeans knows about your Tomcat server, it can actually start it itself, which is really cool. So someone with XAMPP here, I think, is just upset. But the other one should work okay. All right, questions, thoughts, or concerns about the midterm? Again, I'll go over these next week. We'll spend a little bit of time talking about some of these answers. Does that make sense? And I'll make sure I get all the quizzes in for you folks. There's my Catalina start. Come on. Apparently I shouldn't ask it to open NetBeans and start Tomcat at the same time. So I close this one down. Close projects. My poor computer is sad. You still have XAMPP? Nice. Nice. All right, so let's go open our project here from 2454. Our college registration project here. Now let's go finish this up. All right, so we started building out those option lists to make life a little easier for us. So I could have the list of courses here. All right, let's see. Why are some of those blue and green? Is it upset with me? Come on, friends. Okay, finally, that's fine. We'll fix that up after. 2454. Oh my goodness, did I not commit that from last time? I didn't commit it from last time. I'm sorry, friends. I got so frustrated with NetBeans. Yeah, take care, Snake. Thanks for stopping on by. Oh, goodness. All right, so this was from last week here. So when you make a commit, you don't have to commit everything. So I just want to make it a little bit cleaner here. That way in your history, it looks a little nicer. So here's registration project last week. That even does tells me I'm spelling it wrong. Registration project last week. I'm sorry, I meant to have that out there for you folks. My apologies. And here's our little Hello World servlet. Now I can commit all of that. Little servlet. All right, should be in good shape now. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that's why they were blue and green, because I had changes and files. All right, so for project 3, what we needed to do, not play chess. Let's take a look at our assignment. We're going to add that bills table. Right, and I think we went and we added bills in my database, right? Our PHP admin. Take a quick peek here. Where bills would relate to student with the student ID, and then would have a total. Oh, I forgot to change the port number somewhere. 5080, because my XAMPP hates me. I miss having our computer lab, folks. Really miss having that computer lab. So we need to add a bill controller, a bill view, and a bill model. And then we're going to update the enrollment model to add some bills. Right? When we enrolled for a class, we needed to go add the bill or update the bill. Right? All right. Boom. Our college database. Let's see. I think we added the table. Let's take a peek. Nope, we did. Oh, we added login. Okay, so let's add bill. That's right, we added a login for the user where we could store their password. That's right. So we need to add a bill. This will be our ID to auto increment. And then we're going to have a student ID, and then we're going to have, I don't know, like a total due or something. Sure, total due. How about that? And integer should be fine because we're just dealing with whole numbers here, right? If we're not charging pennies. Again, it would probably be something with a decimal later, but that's okay. Not too concerned. And integers are fine. Let's go ahead and save that. Didn't we add the login table last week? Hey, Sticks, how you doing? Happy Thursday, my friend. Did we do login last week? We can create logins, and we'd have the is logged in property or not in the session cookie. Nope. Student ID will relate to our student ID. And again, if you leave the constraint name blank, it'll populate it for you. I was getting weird errors when I was trying to use the same name before, so it just gives you a terrible name here. Okay, thanks, Maggie. This June, I don't know. It was an awful June. Not my best month for sure. So I'm hoping July turns out to be a lot better. So we'll see if get some of this mental health stuff taken care of, folks. You gotta take care of yourself. All right, so we got a bills table. So let's add a bills model here. Well, it's our bills model. And we're essentially going to do a lot of this other stuff here, right? So enrollment already had students. I don't know, we'll just copy all of it for now. This will be list bills. Select star from bills. That can be dollar bills. Dollar bills. Return all, sure. Yeah, no, it's just, you know, just a rough time. It's okay. It's all right. So get enrollments for a particular student. I don't think we need anything like that at the moment, right? We don't need to do something like that. We don't need to list enrollments with the grade. That's fine. We want to add a bill. Yeah, thank you so much, Nav. I appreciate it. Let's say student ID and a total due. So as long as student ID is not 0 and total due is not 0. Right, don't add a $0 balance bill, right? We'll insert into bills. You want to add student ID and total due. And we're going to bind those variables. Total due and student ID. We got student ID already, and then we need total due and total due. Okay, so we'll insert, that is add a bill here. Now, this will just add a brand new one. If we want to update, it's got to be a little bit different, right? So again, we'll still do bills. Sure, we can delete from bills. Update, here we go, so update bill. Update a bill. Needs the ID, the student ID, and the total due. As long as the ID is not 0, and the student ID is not 0, and the total due is not 0, we can go update that. We'll update bill. Do we say, was it bills with an S? Yeah, bills with an S. Set student ID equals student ID. Total due equal total due. Where ID is ID. Great, we'll go bind student ID, bind total due. So I'm going to copy paste that line here. All right. how's that sound? So we can update, we can delete, we can add, we can list. Now, this isn't going to be enough for us, though, right? When we want to go add a bill, if they already have a bill there, we're going to run into a little bit of trouble. So what we can do is when we go to add a bill, I want to see, hey, is there already a student with that bill? Right? And if there is, well, then we want to update their bill instead of adding it. So we could do that here in our add bill model. Right? We can check. So it's probably best to be very specific. If you could run your list bills query and then look for a student with that student ID in a loop. But then if you have like 10,000 students, like OCC does, you're going to be looking through 10,000 students to find one when you could just ask the database for one. So we're going to do a different query first. So we're going to say our query is going to be select star from bills where student ID is equal to student ID. Okay, and then we'll prepare it, and then we'll bind the student ID to the student ID here. And then we will execute. And then we need to fetch. Where's my fetch here? Now, you should only have one, so I'm just going to use fetch instead of fetch all. There should only be one student there if I did this right. Here, so a single bill then. We're going to try and fetch, and then we need to close that cursor. Then we can say, hey, if bill, now how do we check, right? We wanted to see if there were any, right? We did that one before, right? See if there were anything in here. We did that in some of these ones. I don't remember where we did that now. We wanted to see if there were any. I think this is in the bill model here. I mean, so the only reason we're trying to break these apart, one, is that it makes it easier to keep things that are related together. I mean, it would be perfectly fine to just have like a database model, and the database model could have every single possible function. It would work perfectly. The problem is that it's a little bit uglier, and then when you go include those, then you have functions you don't need, and it's so if we can break things into smaller pieces, it's usually a better design. So it's just a good design practice that way. Putting that sort of thing in the enrollment model and adding a query there, that's fine too. You know, we got lots of different options, right? Your controller could call the enrollment model and call the bill model, or the enrollment model could call the bill model. Yeah, you know, any sort of combination of flow works, and it would be okay. We just want to try and keep things that relate to bills in the bill model. That's sort of practice there is all. We did that bill, right? Where bill, if we had a size. Oh man, I'm trying to remember where we did that now. Was that in our? That was in our login model, wasn't it? Yeah, that was our login model. Right? Login controller, maybe? I was just looking for the session. That was is set. Okay, that's not what I was looking for then. That's all right. So if there's any results, then how are we going to check for that? Yeah, size of. That's what I thought it was. Size of enrollments. Let me. You know what? Actually, I prefer the search here in GitHub. 2454 or summer. No, summer 2021. There we go. I've never had lots of luck with searching here in NetBeans, but there we go. Yeah, thank you. Okay, that was the student view. Thank you. Student view. Bonus points for you, sir. Dusty. Size of. If it's not 0, there we go. If size of bill is not 0. Yeah. How many bonus points do you want for that, Dusty? Name your points. So if there is a bill, then 3 bonus points. You got it. You need that, what was it? You need the 1 million, right? I probably can't play that without getting copyright claims or something, right? I don't know how that works with playing YouTube videos. I'm using someone else's audio. But, all right. So if there is a bill, then we want to update instead of add. So this is really going to be then an else if. So otherwise we want to add a brand new one here. If there was an existing one, well, now we need to go get their value and then call update instead of add. Right? So we need to get their value then, right? They had a total due, so we're going to take a new balance variable, is my bill key of total due, right? Plus the total due. We'll get my new balance. Right? Or I can just add it, I guess, right? We'll just take total due. How about that? Total due plus equals the bill. And then we're going to call update bill given what the ID. Well, I need the ID out. So that's the bill ID, the student ID, and the total due. Okay, so this will add, I guess maybe we even call it an add or update bill, right? We can call it that, add or update bill. It's our method. We can call it anything we want. This will add or update a bill then for a given student and the total due. So if they have one already, we're going to update. If they don't, then we're going to insert a new one. Okay, and this is delete bill. This is probably when you copy paste things. Update bill. Okay. I think that looks all right for a model then, right? Then what we can do in the enrollment model, right, when we go to enroll in a class, we can either from here, let's add enrollment, we can either in here go and automatically add the bill, or we can make the controller do it. Again, either's probably okay. Not too concerned one way or the other. Take the breakpoint out. I don't want that red line. Nope, what does that do? Disable breakpoint. Yeah. Just remove the breakpoint. My goodness. Does not like me. That's okay. So when we go to add an enrollment then, we could call add enrollment and then we could call add bill. The problem is we don't know how much the bill is yet. Right? We need to figure out how much that costs. Right? We have the section. So we need to go get the section. Well, we don't have a get single section, so we need to add a get section, right? Oh, a get section by ID. Get section by ID, given a $ID, where ID is equal to the ID. Prepare, and then we need to go bind. I'm going to bind ID to ID. Then we can execute, we can fetch all, we can return. Right? You give me the ID, I'll find that section, we'll give it back to you. And really, it's probably just a fetch. Right? We can probably just do fetch, because there's only a single row there. So we'll just call that section, I guess. So we want to get a section by an ID here. So my enrollment model then will need, it'll require, so I'll just take that whole thing. The section model. It's going to need the bill model. And it's going to need the course model. Oh my goodness, this one needs all the models here. Right, so then course, we need to be able to get course by an ID. Because I need to know how many credits that course is. We'll say this is get course by ID, given a $ID. We don't need any of this department stuff. We just need that one, where ID equals the ID. Prepare it. We don't need to use that SQL thing. ID You don't need the wildcard, is the ID. Execute, again, we're just going to fetch 1 here, a single course, and then we'll return course. So we can get course by ID. I used ID right here. Come on, NetBeans. Hey, thanks so much for following along, friends. Okay. Why is that? Oh, too many. That's why I couldn't find it. All right, now it figured it out. Return. What? Too many curly braces. Too many errors here, friends. All right, so we can get course. So now then, when we enroll, oh goodness, lots of fun stuff happens. So we go to add an enrollment. We add the enrollment, and then we need to, we're going to get section by ID, given the section ID. That'll be my $section ID. Or no, that's just a section, right? So section, right, gets that. And then I need to have a course, is get course by ID. That's the section index of course ID. Okay. Then we can figure out our credits here then, right? So credits is going to be course index of credits. I think we called it credits. Let's see. Course has a credits column. Yep, credits. Great. Credits. And then our total cost is going to be credits times 100. Again, 100, I'm feeling a little bad here that I don't have a better variable for that, so maybe we put that somewhere else up here. Maybe we have a cost per credit variable. Always want a nice name for your variables, right? If you just have just a hard-coded number in there without a name, it's considered a magic number. Like, what does it mean? I don't know. And then if you have to go change it later, you're going to be confused about where it's supposed to go. We just put it in here. How's that look? Now we have our total cost, and then we can call add or update bill for student ID, and the total cost. Then we can header back to our enrollment page. Right, so all of this happens in one at a time. Now, the other thing we could have done is we could have written another query. Right, we could have done one of those joining queries where you say, hey, find me the credits where the course matches the section, matches the student. We got lots of options. So I think we looked at some of the more interesting ones, didn't we? Were we joined, or did we not? I thought we had one that with the join. Join. Yeah, here, the enrollment model. We did this inner join, so that's in our enrollment model. Oh, it's already in the enrollment model. Check that out. It's already there. Right, get enrollments for a student, right? Where we said, hey, give me everything from enrollments, join section, join course, where the student is here. So this is all of the enrollment information for an individual student here. We could do that same idea where we had another query joining across all the rest of them to get that information, rather than doing all these different queries. Where do I have that? I add enrollment. Where did I just do that? Am I in the enrollment model? Where was I? Was I in section? I'm confused, folks. In the bills model. No? Course model. Section model. That should have been an enrollment, for add enrollment. No. Yeah, when we added enrollment. The lower left nav bar. Thank you. We did that in the enrollment controller. Thank you. Oh, friends. Yeah. Maybe this all should have happened in the model. Right? We could probably all do that in the model if we wanted. But sure. And then we'll call add or update the bill. I'll head around and back. So let's see if it works, right? So many files, I know. So it is nice to see like which ones are new, which ones are changed here with this little highlighting. It's nice to see. We're going to look at enrollments. Oh, goodness. Failed to open the bill model. Oh, it's bills model, right? Yep, bills with an S. So that's, everything else is singular, and bills was plural because I'm terrible at that. Okay, cool. So we got enrollments. So let's go add another enrollment then. Or let's delete the enrollments. We'll delete enrollment 1. We'll delete enrollment 4. So there are no enrollments. We'll go add a brand new enrollment. How about section 1, student 1, grade. We'll give myself an A. Uh-oh. 27. Bills model line 27. For add or update bill. Bills model 27. 27. Size of bill. Oh, because it needs to be a fetch all. That's annoying. Okay, so fetch all. It'll be bills. That'll be bills, the first one, total due. Bills, the first one, total ID here. When you do a single fetch, it wasn't letting me do the size of. Let's go back. Let's try it again. Oh, I enrolled twice. Oops. So let's see. Oh, I don't have my bills page. We don't have a bills controller yet. Or a bills view. You have the bills model. Let's see what's in the table. Let's see. What is in the table, sir? All right, student ID 1 has a total due 400. Awesome. So if I enroll in a different course then, I should update. So let's see, what other sections are there? So section 2, let's do that, section 2. So we'll go to enrollment, we'll add section 2 for student ID